Hello there everyone, my name is Amy, this is the Opinionated Woman, and welcome back to another reading vlog. I haven't been vlogging my reading since I finished Pride, but since we are finished with Pride, I thought this was the perfect time for me to do a raiding my siblings' shelves video. My sibling lives in the same apartment block as me, so we're going to go over to their house. I'm going to pick a book, and then they're going to pick a book for me. They're just going to be a disembodied voice because they're like, I feel like I look like trash. Not everybody wants to be on camera, so they're just going to be a disembodied voice. We're going to get those two books. We're going to read them together, and we're going to see what we think of them. My siblings' taste is very much like literary fiction, 300 pages and under. Like, they don't like big chunky books, and they like deep, like thoughtful books, you know, like really like a little bit challenging. They like challenging books. So yes, that's what we're going to do. We're going to go get books, and I'm excited. Let's go. My dog has run ahead of me. He knows where to go. I thought I heard Dipper. Hi boy. Wow. How do? Oh really? Oh, goodness. Okay, you go. Come. Hello, friends.
Look at Dipper in the sun.
Yes, I just filmed him. The camera's pointing at me. I just filmed him. We're having a good chat.
Oh, good.
Good story to tell, and then concrete.
He loves concrete, he loves the oh, it's perfect.
The happiest guy in the
Oh,
land.
it's so warm. He comes into the house and he's warm.
You know who was not warm this morning? Abby.
What did she do?
I looked her outside.
Oh no!
That's so bad.
Oh my god! What did she sleep in the car?
I don't know, and it's cold, and I'm like, Abby? And I'm like looking, she's not meowing at me. I'm like, Abby? I'm like, no. I haven't looked outside, and I see this grey little blur out by the window. I was like, oh no, my baby!
This is so
Oh man, I was so sad.
full of tiny rays.
Okay, so we are in the house. Look at this. Can you give me a background right there? Whoa! Right there.
That's all of my secrets.
I'm showing your art. Aren't they amazing? They're so talented.
Come, dogs, come.
So talented. Film it, but they just pissed me off. They're so annoying. They're just pedantic nonsense.
I like to be contrarian to you.
They like to be a challenge. So I found a shelf, or they told me to look at this little shelf. They went to the book lounge the other day. I have to show you, because look how pretty. Oh, beautiful. I've got a Jeffrey Eugenides as well. It's a little bit weird.
He's a bit of a weird guy.
Yeah. He's got a lot of incest in his book. But I
think there's incest in that one as well.
oh my god.
Maybe he's been through something.
He's been through something. I want to read this because it looks so pretty. Yeah. And now it's time for Jay to pick me a book.
I was going to recommend that one to you.
Now you have to pick something different. It doesn't have to be just from that shelf. It can be from your other shelf.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide.
There's an old filter on TikTok, and I put it on.
You look like Gran.
I look like Gran. I was like, oh, it's like that's actually quite sweet.
Just like Gran. Just like Gran. And then Mom.
I was like, I just don't want to look like Dad.
No, that's Frank's issue.
Yes, I just want to look like Gran or Mom.
Philip's gonna look like an aged film star.
An aged film with salt and pepper hair.
Yeah. Too scared to leave the house. Gorgeous in the house.
Gorgeous in the house. Oh, that's so funny. I did steal some of their books when they went to the UK. Before they packed up all of their books, I did steal a whole chunk of them, but I've read all of them now. And I also, Pleasure Activism arrived when they were away, so I got to read that first, and that's when I got that incredibly bad sunburn on Nordic Beach.
And I've read like approximately 3 books in my life, so it's just not.
They don't read lots and lots, but they read like deep, complicated shit. They're never gonna read like a little romance, you know?
No, that's what AO3 is for.
That's what the fan fiction is for.
What's the point of paying for these things when people write them for free with your favorite characters already? Like, there's no point. Okay, I'm gonna teach you all about love then.
Okay.
You want read The Bluest Eye?
No.
What if I did that to you?
You can do that if you want. It's all up to
You
you.
made me have a whole meltdown that book.
I remember you told me.
Proper meltdown, that one. That's cruel and unusual punishment. Fantastic book.
She's amazing. Our beloved left me like for quite a bit.
This one.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get annoyed at this book.
Why?
I don't want to tell you.
Why am I going to get annoyed? It's about love.
Yeah, but she talks about being spiritual and stuff as well.
That's okay. I don't mind if people are like, let's put it in amusing, you know? Like, I know it's her opinion and stuff. It's when people are like, oh my God, I'm spiritual. They're just some bitch from LA, you know?
Yes, no, I know that. I was just, I don't know. Let me know what you think.
I've been needing to read bell hooks for a long time. So let's do it. Yeah. Hello, it is a Saturday morning and it is time to start reading these books. I decided this is a graphic novel. It's beautiful. And I was just like, I can read a graphic novel in one sitting. That's what I'm going to do. So my landlord is about to come over because there's a bunch of tiles that need replacing in my apartment. So he's grouting them and doing all of that kind of stuff. So I don't want to be in the way. So I'm going to sit down and I'm going to read this whole book. I'm so excited. With that, I'm finished. That was dumb. So my house looks like this. So all of my furniture is like squished. This is from my bathroom. So those tiles are drying. And I'm going to tell you about this. I loved this. It was so easy to read in one sitting. It's so beautiful. I showed you a couple of pages in those clips that I just showed you of like ways that I wanted to point out that this art is done. So this is by two, are they sisters? Hang on. Cousins. One is the illustrator and I think one is the writer. Yeah, and so this follows two girls, Rose and Wendy, mainly Rose, who always go to these cottages in the summer, and that's where their like friendship has always taken place. Like we get the hint that something's not quite right with her mom. You can see like Rose trying to be affectionate towards her mother and her mother like pulling away. You can tell there's something happening with her mom there. But when we get there, we immediately get thrown into their relationship, their friendship, how they spend their days during the summers, and them going to this like little corner store, which is where you get to rent DVDs and stuff, and Rose gets a little crush on one of the boys. But it's basically two little girls having a good old summer. But there's some really serious topics that are covered, and like it's really beautiful seeing things from a child's point of view. And I think this depicts it so well, but with using so few words. Like there's not that, for the amount of like actual pages, there's not a lot of text on these pages, but they get across the atmosphere and the mood so beautifully through the illustrations. And like they put in little onomatopoeias so you know how things are sounding. And like there's a whole page of Wendy eating a gummy foot, and it illustrates the whole process of her eating this gummy foot, and it is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And then there'll be like a double page spread of them swimming, and it's just all like a little bit more abstract, and like has them in all different positions, they're going upside down in the water and stuff. It's just really beautiful and dynamic, and it's really heartfelt. Like I feel like they do cover these topics in a very delicate manner, as well as showing like from a kid's point of view, like how they interpret these things happening, because she obviously knows something's up with her mom, but she doesn't quite know what it is and why it's such an issue. And she doesn't understand depression because she's just young. So yeah, seeing it from that point of view, it's just beautifully done. So yeah, thank you, Jay, for this book. Next is All About Love. I'm on my couch with my pillow. I'm on my period. So yes, that explains that. So now that I've finished the graphic novel, it is time for All About Love. I always want to say All About Sex, but that's not the same thing. By Bell Hooks. I'm going to feel like a very smart girly having read Bell Hooks. Like, I've seen so many people read it. I'm like, wow, they're so smart. So smart reading these books. And my sibling is fucking smart. Jesus Christ. So, I'm really excited to read this. It's a classic. It's all about love. And I'm going to learn as we go. My sibling said that it's going to call me out, and that it's going to hurt my feelings. This moment in time, I'm kind of like jaded when it comes to love. Like I really am not sure if what I want is actually out there feasibly. And I've like stayed away from dating for a while. I'm back on dating apps now, but I barely swipe on anyone because no one knows how to fill out a fucking profile properly. And I can't just swipe right on pretty pictures. I'm just not built that way. So yeah, jaded in love. And I'm gonna read about love. Let's see how this goes. I don't have a reading update because I'm only like a chapter in. But look how cute my babies are. Are you guys sharing a bed? Nice babies. Hello vlog. I have not updated you. Hang on, let me get the book. I've not updated you in a while because I've been reading All About Love. But now I have makeup on from filming my best books of the year. So I might as well tell you about All About Love. So I'm about halfway through now. And she comes at things with a very nuanced angle. Like, you wouldn't think that you could talk about love in so many different ways. Like, oh my goodness. So she talks about, like, one of the first chapters more focuses on the love for yourself, which is great. The last chapter was very interesting. It was about love ethics and how a world would exist if we worked on love ethics instead of the like capitalist ones that we work on right now, which I found very, very interesting. The only chapter that kind of has lost me so far is the spirituality chapter, because I'm not spiritual. I'm very much like, you know, I believe in like nature and like that kind of thing, and like after we die we go to the earth and become part of it and everything. That's what I think. But she's a little bit more religious, so it got it. And she talked a lot about how higher power. She did mention people like me, but it was much more religious. So I was just like, like, I don't like religion. I have a lot of religious trauma, and love commitments. And yeah, it's very interesting, and it's not written in a way that's too complicated, but I am finding myself having to read some sentences. Like, I'm having to really pay attention to make sure that I'm taking it in and I'm not feeling like I'm a bit of a dummy. It's not written in a inapproachable kind of way. It's just about more complex topics, so you have to engage with it in a different way, but I'm enjoying it. Hello, it is Saturday morning, and I'm here reading all about love while having Zambia versus Japan on in the background. It's a Women's World Cup. I'm so excited. I haven't got this, is like the first to one of my teams that are playing, because my mom is from, oh my god, they're gonna score? Oh my god. I mean, that wasn't Zambia scoring, it was Japan, but god damn, they've scored 2 incredible goals in this match. Holy shit. Anyway, I'm reading this while they're playing because my mom is from Zambia, so I watch Zambia play, and then I'm obviously from South Africa, so I watch Banyana, and hello my love, my boy is here, and then I watch England because my dad's British. So this is the first of my teams to play. England is playing at 11 in 45 minutes. So I'm reading my book while the football is on. I'm reading a part about greed. And it's very interesting because it looks at the comparison between how much people focus on money and how little they focus on love. And she even talks about an interview that she had with Lil Kim, where Lil Kim was talking about, like, very clearly about how much love she lacked and how she didn't think that she was ever going to achieve love like that, but she was really excited when she got to talk about money. Oh man, it was offside. Oh. Anyway. But yeah, she really delves into these topics so deeply. And I'm reading at the moment about how, oh my god, a penalty. Oh my god. Sure, this game. It's very hard for me to pay attention to this book when this freaking game is wild. Yeah, basically saying that, like, if money and love were equated, like, the rich people would be the happiest people in the world, but they're not. Like that Beatles lyric, money can't buy me love, you know? Yeah, it's very interesting. And I'm going to watch this penalty and see if Japan scores it. I have to come back in and talk to you about this because this is really interesting. She points out how, she says here, young progressives committed to social justice who had found it easy to maintain radical politics when they were living on the edge on the outside did not want to do the hard work of changing and reorganizing our existing system in ways that it would affirm the values of peace and love or democracy and justice. They fell into despair, and that despair made capitulation to the existing social order the only place of comfort. So she's basically pointing out how the hippies of the 60s, so many hippies of the 60s, they grew up to be part of the capitalist machine because they didn't actually have the wherewithal to stick with love as a motivator, and they didn't have they had enough to, like, protest for peace and love and everything like that, but not enough to actually work for social change in a way, so they just sort of fell into the system that they were protesting. And that's so true, and I've never thought about it like that. That's so fucking interesting. My god. Back on the couch, it's a Sunday, I look like a thumb, but this book is hurting my feelings again. Like my sibling said, well, not hurting my feelings, it's just, I'm relating to it. So this part, it's about mutuality. So it's emotionally devastating when the partners we have chosen will not listen. Usually partners who are unable to respond compassionately when hearing us speak our pain, whether we understand it or not, are unable to listen because that expressed hurt triggers their own feelings of powerlessness and helplessness. Oh my god, is that just so fucking real? Like, my last relationship with a man, this is literally it. Like, he would, brush something aside that I thought was important, or I would talk to him about a problem that I was having at work or something, and he'd just like dash it aside, and I would, decide to talk to him about it and be like, look, you're not, taking me seriously, you're making me feel like I don't matter. And this is exactly how he would react. Like, he just would not listen. And so many of my partners also, I think it's because of the autism, I'm going to have to, with future partners, be very clear about this communication. But a lot of partners don't listen to the words coming out of my mouth. They try and look at my tone and my body language and stuff. But because I'm autistic, those are not good markers to determine how someone's feeling, Like, when it comes to me and other autistic people, you have to listen to the words coming out of our mouths. And be able to set your own stuff apart. Like, I can totally understand, like, here's another story. So with the same partner that I had, he was on depression meds, like way before we met. And I am very open about my mental health. I will talk to you about my mental health stuff nonstop. You've seen me on this channel. But so I once got into a fat conversation with a friend of ours because I realized that I'd left my meds behind, and I told him like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to go home and fetch my meds. And he was like, oh, what are you on? And I was like, I'm on this. And he was like, oh, I'm on this. And we started sharing, about our loopy meds. And I could feel my then boyfriend getting tenser and tenser and tenser, like, as we're sitting there. And we're not even talking about his mental health. We're not even talking about his medication. But he got so uncomfortable with conversations like that. And then later he would get pissed at me because I made him uncomfortable having a conversation with somebody else about myself. Because I was being vulnerable, and that made him feel super uncomfortable because he could not be vulnerable. So it's just interesting reading things like that in this book and being like, oh yeah, I've experienced that. Belle Hooks knows what she's talking about. Surprise. Hello friends, I just finished cleaning my kitchen and my hair is wet because I'm waiting for it to dry so I can film a crafty reads, because I finished this last night. Yeah, All About Love was pretty good. I found that it was really deep, and like, she really gets into the topic like really intensely. One thing that I've realized for me when it comes to nonfiction is that I really do well with abstract topics when there's anecdotal things put in. And I know this is not the style of the book whatsoever. This is literally just for my brain and how I absorb things. But I feel like there could have been a little bit more, like if there was a little bit more explanation, a little bit more anecdotal sort of examples of some of these things, I would have been able to grasp them a little bit, because some of them are like really smart and I feel a little bit stupid. But yeah, a very important book. Very, very glad I read it. And that is the end of this reading vlog. I did not expect anything less. The types of nonfiction that my sibling reads are like this. They're very thoughtful, they're very deep, they're very in-depth. And that graphic novel was absolutely wonderful. So thank you for watching this little vlog where I raided my siblings' bookshelves. I hope you did enjoy it. My social media is down below, as it always is. My TikTok is a load of fun. My Instagram's full of pretty book pictures. And then if you want to support my channel at any point, there's a little one-time tip jar down below, my little coffee link, if you're ever feeling generous. But anyway, other than that, like, comment, subscribe, all of that fun stuff, and I'll take care.